Very good morning. Welcome to the Breakfast News on Rajya Sabha Television. My name is Aishwarya Kapoor. Let us start with the headlines. Ahead of the budget session, Lok Sabha Speaker to meet all party leaders today to ensure smooth functioning of Parliament. Nation observes a Martyrs' Day on 71st death anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi. Prime Minister Modi in Gujarat today to dedicate a Salt Satyagraha Memorial at Dandi to the nation. India improves its position on the anti-corruption index. Global watchdog Transparency International ranks it 3 places higher at 78 in the list of least corrupt nations. China slips at 10 places to 87th position. BJP workers attacked after Amit Shah's rally in West Bengal. Home Minister Rajnath Singh speaks to Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee and the state governor on the violent clashes. And Britain heads for a fresh showdown with the European Union. UK Parliament votes to reopen Brexit withdrawal agreement. EU rejects the move. Lok Sabha Speaker Sumitra Mahajan will hold an all-party meeting ahead of the budget session in the evening today. The meeting is called to ensure for the smooth functioning of the House during the session. Rajya Sabha Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu has also called for a meeting tomorrow morning on the same issue. The budget session will begin tomorrow. The session will begin with the address of President Rajnath Kovind to the joint sitting of both the Houses of Parliament. The interim budget will be presented on 1st of February. This session, which is the last parliamentary session of the Modi government, will conclude on 13th of February. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will today dedicate to the nation the National Salt Satyagraha Memorial at Dandi in Gujarat on Mahatma Gandhi's death anniversary. The memorial has the statues of Mahatma Gandhi and 80 Satyagrahis who had marched with him during the historic Dandi Salt March. The Prime Minister is also scheduled to address a public meeting later in the day. And before visiting Dandi, the Prime Minister will lay the foundation stone for the extension of the terminal building at the Surat airport. The terminal building is being constructed at a cost of 354 crore rupees with an area of over 25,500 square meters. Once completed, it will have a peak handling capacity of over 1,800 passengers. Surat airport is the third busiest airport in the state. And in Surat, the Prime Minister will also interact with the youth at the New India Youth Conclave. He will also inaugurate Rasila Ben Sevantilal Shah Venus Hospital in Surat. Now, this will be Prime Minister Modi's second visit to Gujarat this month. And the nation is observing a Martyrs' Day today as it recalls the infamous assassination of Mahatma Gandhi on his 71st death anniversary. Several programs are being organized across the country on the occasion. A special prayer meeting has been organized at Gandhi's Samadhi, Rajghat. Leaders cutting across political lines will pay homage to Mahatma Gandhi at Rajghat, the memorial at the site where Mahatma Gandhi was cremated. The officials and employees of the Rajya Sabha Secretariat will also observe silence at 11 a.m. at the Parliament House. In the 52nd edition of Mann Ki Baat, the Prime Minister Modi had urged the nation to observe a 2-minute silence in honor of Mahatma Gandhi and other freedom fighters who died fighting for the country's freedom.
30 जनवरी पूज्य बापू की पुण्यतिथि है। 11 बजे पूरा देश शहीदों को श्रद्धांजलि देता है। हम भी जहां हो 2 मिनट शहीदों को जरूर श्रद्धांजलि दें, पूज्य बापू का पुण्य स्मरण करें और पूज्य बापू के सपनों को साकार करना, नए भारत का निर्माण करना, नागरिक के नाते अपने कर्तव्यों का निर्वाह करना, इस संकल्प के साथ आओ हम आगे बढ़ें।
Meanwhile, President Rajnath remembered Mahatma Gandhi on his 71st death anniversary. In a Twitter message, the president said, "On Martyrs' Day, we gratefully remember Mahatma Gandhi and the countless freedom fighters who sacrificed their all for our independence." On to some other news, BJP President Amit Shah held a rally in Odisha's Cuttack as well as in West Bengal's Midnapur on Tuesday. Addressing the public rally, Amit Shah launched a scathing attack on the Mamata Banerjee government and vowed to uproot it in this Lok Sabha polls. He said that the upcoming election is not about electing Narendra Modi as the Prime Minister again, but for making West Bengal into Sonar Bangla again. Amit Shah also accused Mamata Banerjee government of rebranding the central schemes as her own. And later in the day, BJP President...
से गूंजता हुआ बंगाल चाहिए। चैतन्य महाप्रभु के कीर्तन की आवाज फिर से एक बार सुननी है। स्वामी विवेकानंद और रामकृष्ण परमहंस से उनके पैदल विचरण से सुगंधित बंगाल चाहिए। तो बंगाल के अंदर मित्रों लोकतंत्र मजबूत करना पड़ेगा। तो मित्रों एक मौका भारतीय जनता पार्टी को दे दो। मैं आपको कहना आया हूं, मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में हम सोनार बांग्ला का निर्माण फिर से एक बार करेंगे। सोनार बांग्ला का।
And later in the day, BJP President held a second rally in Cuttack in Odisha. He criticized Odisha Chief Minister Naveen Patnaik for allegedly restricting the people from taking direct benefits of the central government's various welfare measures.
मैं ओरिया वासियों को अपील करने आया हूं। आपने कांग्रेस को लंबा मौका दिया, उड़ीसा का विकास नहीं हुआ। आपने 19 साल नवीन बाबू को विकास मौका दिया, ओडिशा का विकास नहीं हुआ। एक 5 साल मोदी जी को दे दीजिए, हम ओडिशा को देश का नंबर 1 प्रदेश बनाएंगे।
And Home Minister Rajnath Singh on Tuesday called up West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee and expressed serious concerns over reports of violence against people who participated in BJP President Amit Shah's rally in East Midnapur district in the state. Now, during a telephonic conversation with Mamata Banerjee, Rajnath Singh asked her to take action against those who indulged in violence. The BJP alleged that the buses in which the party workers were returning from Amit Shah's rally were ransacked and set on fire, allegedly by the TMC activists. The Trinamool Congress, on the other hand, claimed that the BJP workers had attacked a local TMC party office in Kanthi and vandalized it. Congress President Rahul Gandhi visited Kochi in Kerala on Tuesday and held a meet with the booth-level party workers. He said that the women's bill will be passed on a priority basis if the party is voted to power in the 2019 Lok Sabha elections. Now, attacking the policies of the Modi government, he alleged that the Prime Minister had nothing for the farmers and assured that a Congress government would ensure their welfare.
That the first thing that we are going to do when we win the 2019 election is pass the Women's Reservation Bill in Parliament. And we will ensure that in every election, many more youngsters and women participate.
India and Kyrgyzstan have vowed to jointly combat the menace of terrorism and cooperate on de-radicalization. The visiting Foreign Minister of Kyrgyzstan met with the External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj yesterday, where both the leaders reviewed their cooperation in the Shanghai Cooperation Organization as well as the United Nations. Both the nations have also decided to step up ties in key fields such as defense, development, partnership and trade. During the meeting, Chingiz Arzanatovich Adirbekov briefed Sushma Swaraj on Kyrgyzstan's efforts to liberalize its economy, create business-friendly conditions and attract foreign investment, including that from Indian companies. Noting that more than 9,000 Indian students study in various Kyrgyzstan's educational institutions, both the leaders acknowledged to enhance cooperation in the field of education as well by encouraging collaboration between the universities of both the countries. In Breakfast News, time for a very short break. We'll be back with more news. Don't go anywhere.
Have to make films on science and technology, on environment. It's very important part of a society.
तो अगर फिल्म है, शॉर्ट फिल्म्स है, वो डेफिनेटली हमें ज्ञान देगा और हमारे जो एक थॉट प्रोसेस को हमेशा अलग रखेगा और हमेशा उससे सीखने की प्रेरणा मिलेगी.
Welcome back. On to the other top story this morning. According to the global watchdog Transparency International, India has improved its ranking on a global corruption index in 2018. India moved up 3 points to rank 78 in the list of 180 countries in the world, with the top spot signifying the least corrupt country. Singapore moved up 3 places to the third spot behind first placed Denmark and the second placed New Zealand. Meanwhile, China slipped by 10 ranks to the 87th place in the Transparency International's 2018 Corruption Perceptions Index. Pakistan is ranked 117 in 2018. The US also fell from 16th to the 22nd position, tumbling out of the top 20 for the first time in recent years. 11 political parties of the Northeast have decided to oppose the Citizenship Amendment Bill. Now, this was decided in the meeting of BJP and its alliance partners in the Northeast. It was also decided that a delegation will meet the President and the Prime Minister to convey their concerns over the issue. Leaders of the Assam Gun Parishad, the National People's Party, Mizo National Front were also part of the meeting. The Janata Dal United has also decided to oppose the bill. The proposed legislation seeks to provide Indian citizenship to non-Muslim nationals from Bangladesh, Pakistan and Afghanistan for 6 years of residence in India.
The Cabinet has requested the Government India to review. Again, in 18 January, there was a meeting. The Cabinet has reaffirmed that. Yesterday, again, had a meeting, and we rejected. We are against this bill. We are with the northeastern states.
1916 का विरोध करने के लिए समूचा नॉर्थ ईस्ट खड़ा हो गया है. सभी पार्टियां खड़ी हो गई हैं, सिविल सोसाइटी खड़ी हो गई है. जनता दल यू एक्सटेंड इट्स फुल सपोर्ट टू दिस 11 पार्टी कमेटी.
And an 8-member search panel formed to select members of anti-corruption ombudsman Lokpal held its first meeting on Tuesday. The committee is understood to have discussed modalities related to the appointments of the chief members of the Lokpal. The committee is headed by former Supreme Court Judge Rajnath Desai, and other members include a former Chief of the State Bank of India, Arundhati Bhattacharya, Prasar Bharati Chairperson A. Surya Prakash, and former ISRO Chairman A.S. Kiran Kumar. The meeting comes days after the Supreme Court set up a February-end deadline for the search committee to form a panel of names who could be considered for the appointment as the chairman and the members of the Lokpal. The Lokpal Act, which envisages establishment of anti-corruption bodies at the centre and the states to look into the cases of corruption against certain categories of public servants, was passed in 2013. And the centre on Tuesday asked the Supreme Court to allow it to return the non-disputed surplus land acquired around the disputed structure in Ayodhya to a Hindu trust and the other original owners. In its 33-page application, the centre sought the modification of Apex Court's 2003 order to permit it to return 67.39 acres of non-disputed surplus land around the disputed Ram Janmabhoomi Babri Masjid structure in Ayodhya to the original owners. The application also claimed that only 0.313 acres of the land was actually disputed. The 0.313-acre land on which the disputed structure stood before its demolition in 1992 was within a compound measuring 2.77 acres. Earlier, the Apex Court had ordered that the status quo be maintained with regard to the acquired 67 acres of land around the disputed site. The central government had acquired 67 acres of land around the disputed site in 1991.
स्टेटस को बना रहे जो 0.3 एकड़ का जो डिस्प्यूटेड लैंड है उसका स्टेटस को और उसका कानूनी कामकाज चले, कोर्ट का केस चलता रहे, लेकिन बाकी जो जमीन है वो सरकार वापस देना चाहती है ओरिजिनल लैंड ओनर्स को, और उसके लिए मॉडिफिकेशन इन ऑर्डर ऑफ स्टेटस को इतना मांगा है। ये बहुत बड़ी पहल है। शुरू से भारतीय जनता पार्टी का यह कहना है कि राम जन्मभूमि पर राम मंदिर बने, और राम मंदिर बनाने के लिए जो भी रास्ता प्रशस्त करना होगा कानून के द्वारा वो करने का भारतीय जनता पार्टी हमेशा प्रयास करेगा।
The National Green Tribunal on Tuesday expressed dissatisfaction over the cleaning of river Yamuna. The NGT directed Delhi, Haryana and Uttar Pradesh governments to submit a performance guarantee of 10 crore rupees each within a month. A bench directed the state governments to furnish a performance guarantee with the Central Pollution Control Board to ensure that there was no further lapse in this regard. The tribunal also warned that chief secretaries of all the three states would be personally liable for any non-compliance. The directions came after an NGT-appointed monitoring committee submitted an interim report which included recommendations to be taken by respective authorities towards a cleaning of the river. We'll take another very short break here. Up next, we have all the international and sports news.
The Indian middle class, the growth drivers of the nation. What will the budget mean for you and for your money? Will you be able to save more or splurge at will? Interim Budget 2019 decoded for you.
Nestled in the thick woods of Delhi's northern ridge near Malsha Marg, once existed the palace of Rani Vilayat Mahal, the claimant royal belonging to the erstwhile kingdom of Awadh. 4 decades back, Vilayat Mahal came to Delhi after being ousted from the royalty. She came here with 2 children, Ali Raza and Sakina, some guards, her greyhound dogs, gems and jewellery, carpets, collection of books and private correspondence as per the information goes. She began living at the fences of New Delhi railway station near State Entry Road in protest seeking rehabilitation. After she wrote to then Prime Minister Indira Gandhi, Vilayat Mahal was given to stay in a hunting lodge in the middle of the canvassing ridge. The claimant princess passed away in 1993, leaving her 2 children, Sakina and Ali Raza, in solitude and cut off from the outside world. Few years ago, Sakina too passed away. After demise of his mother and sister, Prince Ali Raza continued to live here without electricity, water, phone line, in his hunting lodge, his fortress. Afraid of the modern world, unwelcoming to the suspicious movers and withdrawn, Ali Raza died on September 2, 2017, with many thoughts and unrestrained melancholy for today's world, which he saw from a rather close distance.
Top international focus. British MPs on Tuesday voted on a string of amendments to Theresa May's plan to change the direction of Brexit. With exactly 2 months left until Britain is due to leave the European Union, Parliament was trying to find a way forward by voting on different amendments. The MPs backed seeking alternative arrangements to replace the Irish backstop in Theresa May's Brexit plan. Now, the proposal put forward by Tory MP Sir Graham Brady had the support of the government and won by 16 votes. The lawmakers voted 317 to 301 to order May to seek new terms with the European Union over the Irish border. May bowed to the pressure from UK lawmakers who demanded that she renegotiate her hard-fought Brexit deal. The British Prime Minister agreed to return to Brussels and reopen Brexit talks. In another amendment rejecting a no-deal Brexit also won the support of Parliament on Tuesday, but the vote was not binding, meaning that the date for exit remains 29th of March. Members of Britain's lower house, however, rejected a proposal to give Parliament the power to delay Brexit. But the EU has said that it will not change the legal text agreed with the UK Prime Minister. A spokesman for Donald Tusk, the President of the European Council, insisted that the Brexit deal is not open for renegotiation.
It is now clear that there is a route that can secure a substantial and sustainable majority in this House for leaving the EU with a deal. We will now take this mandate forward and seek to obtain legally binding changes to withdrawal agreement that deal with concerns on the backstop while guaranteeing no return to a hard border between Northern Ireland and Ireland.
And now developments on the US-China trade front with high-level negotiations set to begin from today. Chinese Vice Premier Liu He is in Washington for 2 days of crucial talks with the United States aimed at staving off a deeper phase in the trade war that could begin on 1st of March if no agreement is reached by then. Chinese Vice Premier Liu He is set to meet US officials on Wednesday and Thursday. Efforts to resolve bilateral trade disputes have been underway since the presidents of the two countries agreed to a 90-day truce. However, the talks come hot on the heels of Washington leveling sweeping charges against Beijing's telecommunications giant Huawei. The U.S. Department of Justice filed criminal charges on Monday against Meng Wanzhou, the chief financial officer of a China tech giant Huawei, and market participants fear the jolt to Huawei could undermine the chances of the world's two largest economies reaching a comprehensive trade deal. And with that, we wrap up this edition of Breakfast News. But before we go, take a look at the Beating the Retreat ceremony held at the Rajpath yesterday, which formally marks the end of the Republic Day festivities. So we'll leave you with these visuals. Thanks so much for watching.